By my mouth, hear my words. Many years have passed now. Many battles and many wars have taken the lives of the corrupt and the innocent. But it has all been for something. Our great leader has had many victories on the road to today. He will be remembered from generation to generation for his accomplishments. His power has crushed all thus far. None who have stood before Tokugawa Ieyasu lived to see another day. His last opponents do not know that we are here, and they do not know what loss they will face. But my brother is no longer here to see how far we have come. He had worked so hard to make Tokugawa into the great ruler of Nippon. But in the end, my brother, Hattori Hanzo, was also a victim of Tokugawa Ieyasu, as his heart was broken. In Edo, my brother spent his last days in sadness, in pity, and in agony. He had served our leader for more than 40 years, doing what he could to increase his standing. Hanzo created a secret weapon that will ensure the last great victory of our day. A weapon so powerful it could destroy Mount Fuji. Hanzo discovered the family of fire, a hidden clan that they say has existed for 1,000 years. They can control fire. They can make fire through their hands. Fire will cover their bodies, and it will not burn them. They are dangerous people, yet they are not people. My brother Hanzo, with all of his discoveries and all of his loyalties, Tokugawa still does not trust him. He does not trust anyone. He fears the growing influence and the intelligence of those below him. He fears those who serve him that may one day overthrow him. For it is far better to be half smart if you are to serve him. He feared that one day Hanzo would use the family of fire to remove his head. Although he did spare Hanzo's life, he did send him away in a type of exile. My brother will never remain the same. He felt betrayed. He could no longer feel like he was a man. His heart became weak, and at times he did not speak. This heartbreak made him into a tiny man. For food he no longer knew. Truly, sake can be poison to a weak heart. I am Hattori Toga, and I stand here in my brother's place, waiting to claim what Tokugawa promised. For I must, and I have learned to control my anger and choose my words to save my life. After the victory, I will request Hanzo's reward for the honor of my family. But I am not a simple man. I know Tokugawa can take my life. That is why I have made plans, and made my plans well, for I must survive for my family. The Battle of Sekigehara. The Battle of Sekigehara. The early morning arrives on the 20th of October, 1600. The air is crisp, with a light breeze causing a sway in the trees. There is much to do in the way of relaxation and preparation for today. It is a full day before Tokugawa plans to attack his main enemies. If successful, he will bring an end to an era of waste that has crippled Nippon economically. Hattori Toga walks slowly through the tall grass. He is a tall man of slim stature. His skin is slightly darker than of his fellow comrades. He is 45 years old, and a scar adorns his lower face, down to his mid-neck. Chiefly on his mind is his beloved older brother, Hattori Hanzo, and all of the hard work his brother did to make this day possible. Though now nothing can be changed, he laments the absence of Hanzo. As he comes to a clearing, he sits with his potions maker as she completes a new brew. She is a very old and very small woman with a rough, weather-beaten skin. He is given a tonic while inhaling the strong incense. It is a combination that is meant to relax his breathing, to prepare him for his journey. She lays him on his back to better urge the yellow-green concoction down his throat. The intensely bitter taste builds his face as some comes through his nose. She jumps onto his torso in time to control his convulsions. His eyes turn white, his body stills, his eyes close. He awakens in an astral plane parallel to our world, a place devoid of sunlight, although light does streak through his area in long bands. He turns his torso to a noise behind him. There stands two elfish trolls with 3 colorful rings around their extremities. They have tough, baggy, and gray skin, sharp teeth, white hair, and abnormally large, dark green eyes. They crouch on one knee, grinning at him. One even points its bone-filled finger at him. He slowly walks to a small bonsai tree, and on his knees, he bows to the tree 3 times. The tree hops out of the ground and turns around to look at him. "Ah, Togo-san, what can I do for you today?" asked the tree. "Would you like invincibility, a 3rd wife? Or would you like the heads of your enemies?" "No, Yukio," says Toga. "I only want to see my brother. I need to see him today, more than any other day. Tomorrow we begin the great battle, a battle that could end this long war. It has been a very dangerous war for us all." "But I do not care for this war," says the tree. "You humans kill endlessly. Why can't you fight less and love more? No one will think of you less if you strive for peace. You see, us plants, we work in harmony with all the rest of nature, helping the bees, the flowers, the unicorns, and the bears. Nothing could be more perfect and more natural, don't you think? In all the things that you do, remember these words. Remember that you could also have it so much better." And with that, those last words, the tree sinks its roots back into the ground. The tree swells at the height of 9 feet tall, shaking violently for a minute. From the trunk out steps Hanzo, dressed in samurai armor. He is tall but an old man, the grays of his full head of hair blowing in the wind. He takes in a large dose of fresh air while looking up at the mystical surroundings. Toga, trying to contain his excitement, calls out to him. "Brother, says Toga. Hanzo, do you hear my voice? Hanzo turns around and looks at his brother. Yes, brother. I can hear and see you. How are you, dear Toga? I am okay. I have done nothing wrong. I remain blameless, says Toga. Tokugawa will continue. Are the Osaka ready? Asks Hanzo. They remain ready and are eager to serve Tokugawa-sama. But he has changed much since you last saw him. I believe that his true nature could not be held back any longer. He is a brutal man, pretending to be just, but he is a monster. Sadly, many monsters are seen as great men for future generations. There is nothing that you can do about that. All you can do is to stay out of their way, says Hanzo. I will, but I must claim the promise that was made to you. He must honor his word, says Toga. Listen, you must forget this. He will not allow you to live if he feels that you want to challenge his authority. And then he will vanquish our entire family. You must promise me that you will forget, honor, and remember the lives of your family. This is more important. I want to hear you say it, says Hanzo. Yes, my dear brother, I promise. I agree with your wishes, assures Toga. Hanzo-sama, the time has ended. You must return, says the bonsai tree. Return, my brother. Your family comes first, as Hanzo reminds Toga as he returns to the tree. Toga awakens with a worrying look on his face. He drops to his knees and he puts his face into his hands. An hour later, Toga finds himself in the area of Tokugawa's tent. The urge to request Hanzo's award grows ever stronger. He asks the guards to see their master, but is told that he is in the long field. Toga thanks him, and on his way to the field. There he is in the field, Tokugawa-sama, sitting there with his mystic man, smelling the incense. He uses a unique combination, one that is very powerful. He is very powerful, and we all respect him. But he doesn't shed a thought for those below him. He does whatever he wants, sometimes knowingly and unknowingly crushing those who love him. My anger increases every day for the way he treated my dear Hanzo. Hanzo saved his life many times. He devoted his time, his wisdom, to increase the power and the status of Yasu. But when my brother died, this man before me, did not attend the funeral. He wants only power. He has an uncontrollable hunger for it, like a man starving for his first meal. Toga hears a strange sound coming from behind him, towards him. It could be the footsteps. But how could it be? They are too loud to be human. The ground has a slight tremble. Toga can see the rustling of the tall grass behind him getting much closer. Ieyasu is not moving, so Toga stills himself in a safe area of grass, waiting to attack. The thing comes into sight. I cannot believe my eyes. It is the Orinoku dragon. The dragon with piercing green eyes stares at Toga, hissing. Toga is suddenly hit with a paralyzing pain, knocking him onto his back. The dragon, named Kentamori, invades Toga's mind and soul, seeing into his past and his future, all to discover his true intentions. And after 20 seconds, Toga is released. Kentamori turns to speak to Toga. Human, you have much hate in your heart. This man, Tokugawa, is not your enemy. Go away from this place, for you look upon the greatest ruler upon that you will ever see. I will spare your life now, but I will not again. Kentamori turns and continues to meet Ieyasu. That is the most powerful beast that I have ever seen, says Toga. But it is not the first time. The legend states that on the eve of battle, Kentamori, the Orinoku dragon, will visit the one who will win. As a boy, I always heard of this story, and I thought that it was nonsense. But today, I see, with my own eyes, that it is real. So this must mean that Tokugawa will be victorious. To look upon Tokugawa and not kill him means that Kentamori had no ill will against him. For it is truly an honor to look upon Kentamori and survive. Kentamori has the power to grant any person good fortune. His deep red body is mostly sheer. Puffs of smoke lift from each of his steps. But instead of leaving, Tokugawa peeks through the tall grass, bearing witness to the ritual that is to come. The first pair of 4 Kentamori's legs transform into human hands as he walks around Tokugawa's back. The mystic man feeds Ieyasu a bowl of potions. Kentamori cups Tokugawa's head, causing it to glow with a bright white light. My ancestors grant me their power, says Tokugawa. Toga witnesses great power entering into Ieyasu's body and is gripped with fear. He suddenly and quietly reverses from his observation post to ready his newly minted escape plans. He knows that there's a chance that Tokugawa may execute him after the coming battle, especially if he tries to force the issue of reparations for his brother, and not least because Tokugawa has the control over a powerful weapon. The Osaka clan, the family of fire, are people that control and create fire with their minds. Hanzo had found this small family in the forest of Shinjo. He saw their potential. He trained them in the Bushido. He trained them to serve also Tokugawa Ieyasu. Moments later, he arrives at their camp. He meets with his second-in-command, Yado Ryo, to inform him of the fallback plan to escape if Tokugawa decides to vanquish the Hattori family. Toga-sama, do you believe that our leader will commit such an injustice? What could we do to him? Asked Hideo. We are the kingmakers. We possess power that can challenge his power. We also command Osaka. Once he has claimed the victory, he will seek to sanitize us. I need to prepare our people. Send back our support contingent as well as the women tonight. Tell our remaining forces the plan. Tell them that the action word is Osprey. This is for the survival of our family and our people. The Odo leaves to complete the will of his master. The morning air is crisp and cool, and topped off with a gentle breeze. Tokugawa sits meditating as his troops and the troops of his allied clans assemble. Toga stands watching Tokugawa, trying to decide if he will ask for what is owed. Toga-sama, the preparations are complete, says Ryo. Good. Be prepared, says Toga. Tokugawa stands up, gesturing to Toga to come help to meet him. Toga walks up the medium-sized hill and through the small and tall brush. Ah, Toga, my son, we have come a long way, haven't we? Asks Tokugawa. Yes, Yasu-sama. Your brother was very loyal to me. He believed in me, and he understood my vision for this nation. He taught and fought and bled for me. I mourn him every day. Even now I am crying down in my heart for Hanzo. He took an arrow from me. I cannot let my soldiers see this weakness before battle. I promised him that I will bestow a great honor to him this day if you help me to victory. That great gift and that honor will all be yours. But I must have your soldiers, my soldiers. Are the Osaka here? And Toga replies, yes, Yasu-sama. Good. Then go prepare your forces for my victory. Toga bows and leaves. Toga's smile drops to a scowl of displeasure. He then turns around to witness the enemy movements just 500 yards away. Angrily, he places his helmet on top of his head while grunting down the hill. As the massive sun rises at his back, he and two of his men ride out to meet with Tochomi Hideyori and two of his men. In the middle of the battlefield, the men attempt last-minute negotiations. Tochomi Hideyori says, "It's greetings, Tokugawa. Are you willing to surrender now? Will you turn home and drop your campaign? Drop your silly notions?" But Tokugawa counters, "I will leave now if you would put your severed head into my hand. For too long I have watched you take action and destroy our country. How dare you come before me pretending to love Nippon? Then you leave me no choice," replies Hideyori. "You will die here this day, and your army of fools." Tochomi and his men ride off in a rage. The Tokugawa shouts, pointing his sword at Tochomi, "I am Tokugawa Yasu, leader of my clan. I will take your head and I will eat your heart. You will all die here this day." Tokugawa also rides off, taking up a position behind his lines. Tochomi gets to his position and orders an immediate attack. Tochomi Hattori says to his soldiers, "Begin your attack. Get them off guard. they have not formed their lines, they will be in chaos. While Tokugawa is talking to his generals, the faint sound of cannon fire cuts through the air. A soldier shouts to the top of his lungs, "They are attacking!" Screams are heard as the cannonballs pass through the